All right, we're live. Oh, well, at least we should be live. How's everybody doing? Can we do a quick audio check here to make sure everything is okay? Awesome, Jack. Oh, good to see you here, man. What's up, Mowgli? Hope you're well, man. Thank you for the happy birthdays. I mean, 33, it's something, right? Top-notch sound. Perfect. Let's give it, I'd say, a minute or two. So I'll be doing this stream, and then I'll have to take care of some things for my birthday, get some cake, shit like that. But I figured I'd do at least a short stream because we're in a tricky, well, not in a tricky spot, but I think it is good to be aware of, where you want to be trading today. Thank you. Let's open up the charts. So we've got a regular Bitcoin chart. We've got a vwap chart. Might have to adjust this to a normal layout because it will be shitty to see on mobile, but we'll see. Daily prep, heat maps, velo. So things are starting to look good, to be honest. Only Monday's low so far. Yeah, I mean, I personally think that we're going to be stuck here for a while. Like, we saw, I mean, this was pretty telling, right? Where, yesterday I was basically bear posting the entire day on Twitter. Where I'm like, we're going to go lower. Everybody was shitting on me. And look at me now, right? It's always funny. Yo, what's up, Olin? Hope you're well, man. It's good to have you with us. Oh, did we accept below the 30-day rolling VWAP? Really? I haven't really checked about that 30-day rolling VWAP. That's a great point, Jack. Where is it? Where does the 30-day rolling VWAP come in? Thank you, guys. What's up, Pompa? Hope you're doing well, man. Quite the action overnight. Though, so we're trading below the 30-day rolling VWAP. Well, I'll be honest, that's, pretty shit, but we'll see. Why not? Just sing me a good song, man. I need a good song. It's okay though. I've got, I woke up by the kids this morning. They were singing for me. It's always funny. I've got 2 kids. My daughter is 6 and my son is 4. And you wake up like I turned 33. I'm like, I wake up absolutely fucked. Like my back's hurting, my throat is fucked. Everything is basically shit. And then my kids are singing happy birthday to me, and I'm like, yay. Trying to do my best to be, whoa, what's up, guys? Ho. That's nice. 69,930. 69,930. 69,930. All right. Ooh, that's going to be a tricky one. So, the thing about the 30-day rolling VWAP is that we're either going to be forming a range here and then we're going to be reclaiming it, or this is truly the beginning of, at least a 30% lower. Nice, man. 3 girls. That's a blessing, to be honest. I absolutely adore girls. I mean, a son is nice as well because they're just a smaller version of you, breaking shit, throwing shit. But having a daughter is like, just a small little princess. It's nice. Anyways, what is up, everybody? Welcome to today's stream. I'm going to be keeping it really short and to the point. This is going to be mainly focused around Bitcoin, where I want to be trading. I'll be doing my live prep that I usually do for the guys within the group with you today on YouTube, because I figured, it's my birthday. Might give something back as well, right? So today, if I go towards the prep, we're going to be going over the overnight developments on market profile, long-term VWAPs. We'll be making a summary of it, daily narrative. What are we trading today? Are we going to be looking for longs or shorts? And then, of course, we have the line in the sand. Where's my invalidation in terms of if I'm looking for longs, and where's my invalidation if I'm looking for shorts? That being said, I want to start off on today, 15th of March, my birthday. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a fucking like on the video and send me the best wishes within the comments. Helps with the video, helps with everything. So make sure you do that right now. Then we'll have a tick size. Well, currently on TPO, I'm rocking at 80 tick size. I think 80 tick size is more than enough to account for current volatility. We can still see the anomalies within the TPO chart. We can see poor highs, poor lows, naked value area lows, etc., etc. 80 tick size is perfectly fine. Then we have impactful news events. So today there isn't really an impactful news event. I believe there is. We've got the Empire State Manufacturing around 1:30 p.m. UTC. Do I think that it's going to be a market moving event? I don't really think so. So, I could write this down, and I got a new keyboard. So I'm absolutely in love with my new keyboard. So we've got, this is more important, I think, consumer sentiment, which is at 3 p.m. UTC. And then we also have the, let's just manufacturing index at 1:30 p.m. UTC. So these are the two news-driven events for today. Now let's move towards the technicals. Overnight development. The reason why I'm using this is because we need to have a systematical approach on breaking down the markets, right? I'm not going to be sitting behind my desk and draw a imaginary line or have a imaginary moving average and be like, oh, hey, we're trading below, I'm going to be bearish. No, we're going to be having a level-headed approach using TPO, VWAP, and structural reference points. So, overnight developments, market profile. What happened overnight? Well, if we take a look at this chart, we've got value that is being built up, and then we have a breakaway from value, followed by new highs. Value is being built up, and at this point, I actually tweeted about this, where I said, the moment this starts to change, where we go from base up towards base break lower, that's going to be a shift in regime, right? Now, in terms of how low are we going to go, I will show you that in a bit. But for me personally, I think we already did a decent amount of deleveraging. Funding is going to be neutralizing across the board. I wouldn't be surprised to see if we might see one final spike lower, but we're getting close, right? So what did happen overnight? Well, first off, we had a 1-2 day composite and we broke below. So market prep. Acceptance below the 2-day composite value area low. What else did we have? We had, go back towards the arrow chart, acceptance back within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of overlapping value, or in other words, a 6-day composite. Yo, what we buying? We buying a gift for me, bro. It's my birthday. I need a new car. I need a farm. We buying gifts. You're not too late. You're just starting. We're just starting. So we're seeing acceptance back within a 6-day composite, right? And we can clearly see the relevance of that level. Once we broke back below the composite value area high, we saw the market auction lower, retest this, beautiful interaction, right? Short it, targeting this low, that low. And, we just fell short of the composite value area low. So in this case, what are we? We are rotational within a 6-day composite. So, acceptance back within old 6-day composite. CVA is composite value area. Rotational, oh, I probably mistyped it, until proven otherwise. Period. Simple as that. What else do we have? Well, and this is where things get really important. This is a daily chart, right? And besides the daily TPO, we also have a weekly TPO there, right? This is a weekly TPO, and I need to rename this towards a monthly TPO. Excuse me. And then on the monthly, if we zoom out all the way back towards undo all merged in this profile, this is the previous all-time high, right? It's at 69. We had one monthly value, then we had another monthly value. These two monthly value areas overlap with each other. So as per rule, we merge these 2 months together. So right click, and then we do merge with next profile. And this gives us a really nice, thick looking monthly distribution, right? If we go back in time, this is that monthly composite with a monthly point of control there. We can clearly see the relevance there, right? And now that we're trading above, this month accepted above that 2-month composite value area high, I'd say from a longer term perspective, I need to see, and where does it come in? Let's have a look. 65, let's just 64, let's just call it 64.5, round number. So we have 2-month composite value high at 64.5K that needs to hold. So in any event, right, if we're going to go lower for quite a bit, I think the 2-month composite value high needs to hold. Now, before we move forward further, 64.5, let's move towards VWAP. And let's take a look at this quarterly VWAP there. Quarterly VWAP comes in at 62 or 63K. Remember my tweet right there when I said gut feeling says that we're going to be revisiting 62K. At that point in time, 62K was the quarterly developing value high. Now, why is this so important? Well, we've got 2 weeks left of March. And after that, we will have our first previous quarterly value to work with. And at this point, it is coming in at 63.4. So I believe if we're going to be seeing, longer term players step in, longer term buys, this needs to hold as support right there. And it is also in line, if we go back towards the simple chart there, with the 2-month composite value high. So whatever we do, I would love to see this hold as support for at least a bigger range here, right? Let's say I would love some two-way trades there. I don't think that we're going to go minus 30% in one go. However, this is the level that we need to see hold as support. So the 2-month composite value high needs to hold. Why does it need to hold? Confluence with quarterly D of developing, not of dick, but developing value area high. And that's it. Moving towards the long-term VWAPs. We already covered it a bit, but the yearly, right? The yearly is not something that we use right now, the yearly developing value. Why aren't we using yearly developing value high? In essence, the yearly developing value high right now is exactly the same as the quarterly, right? We only have 1 quarter in. I'm going to be using the yearly developing value after the first quarter, because at that point it makes sense. Right now it's just the quarterly value, right? So neglecting this on the year. What's our structural reference point in case shit hits the fan, in case we're getting a really deep retracement? That's going to be a 55K on a yearly, which is a previous year value high from 2021. Now, to answer your question, what is a developing value and why do you use it? Developing value is a standard deviation 1 from that particular VWAP, in this case on a yearly time frame. And the reason why we're using it is because essentially it's the same as a distribution from a market profile, right? Where you have the point of control in the middle, value area highs roughly the standard deviation 1, value area lows roughly the standard deviation -1. So these tend to act as dynamic support and resistance. It will also give us a proper invalidation. For example, once we see acceptance back within developing value, right there, the weekly is finding support, right? At developing value area high there. Support. Once we see acceptance back within that weekly developing value, we need to shift gears because we're going from an imbalanced uptrending market towards a rotational environment. And that means that we're likely to revisit the opposite extreme, right? That's what we're getting. So that's why I tend to use developing value. Now, make no mistake, I prefer prior value, but developing value is awesome as well. If we move towards the quarterly, we already said it, we are likely, if I gun to my head, I'd say we're going to be revisiting this, and then we're probably going to be forming a range until the halving. Like, the longer the range, the better, in my opinion, because this is just shit. Like, the amount of posts that I saw, Bitcoin, the OGs know when we're forming a rising wedge, we're going to be breaking out. Okay. Well, clearly you're not that kind of an OG because that's just not the dynamic that we were in. Right now we're trading lower and the area of interest is going to be the developing value area high on the quarterly. So I'd say once we trade towards the developing value area high, confluent, right? Remember, confluent with the 2-month composite value area high there, I think this is where we need to be forming a longer term range before we get another attempt at the highs. This would be ideal, right? This would give altcoins a bit more breathing room as well. And, you know, all in all, I think this will be a great trading location. So let's mark that up. Daily prep, long-term vwap. We have acceptance back within previous week value. And we have buyers stepping in at previous week value area low, right? Let's go back to that chart. This middle chart, we're accepting back within previous week value. The static lines are previous value. We're establishing a range here. We're clearly seeing the relevance here of that value area high, right? Once we start trading back within weekly value, rejection at the value area high, where do we go? Point of control, or in other words, vwap, right? No surprise that buyers are stepping in here, especially after the 30-minute high volume candle with a point of control there, that little green line. What else do we have? Well, we are rotational within. Look, we accepted back for the first time within monthly developing value since this run up. What happened next? Retest the developing value area high, rejection, where do we go? Opposite extreme, right? That's why the developing value is important. Daily prep. Buyer stepping in a previous week value area low. We have monthly VWAP confluent with previous week VWAP. Very short-term line in the sand, I'd say. I mean, if buyers want to step up their game, they need to be stepping in right there, right? If they want to, if we want to see a confirmation that we have at least a short-term low, what do we need to see? We need to see acceptance back above previous week value high. Now, why do we need to see that? Well, we need to see acceptance back above previous week value high because that will indicate a failed shifting condition back within value. And now we're trading back above. It also means that we're getting an H4 close above monthly VWAP. If that's not the case, we're probably heading lower towards monthly value area low, confluent with weekly value area low, right? Which is confluent with quarterly value area high and 2-month composite value area high. So all in all, this is going to be a big ass level, right? Similar to the all-time high. That basically concludes the long-term view of things that I would like to cover. Now, to summarize, large drive during the overnight session. Lower, accepting, back within a what? Old 6-day CVAH. Meaning we are rotational until proven otherwise. Ultimately, I believe, this is good for the market. And that if we are forming a larger base here, I will look to get long around the 2-month composite value high confluent with quarterly developing value area high for a swing back towards all-time high. Now I'm going to be saying all-time high. Of course, I'm not sure if we're going back towards all-time high at one go. To answer your question, Grant, are we buying spot? I would say if we're forming a bigger range. I think if we go towards VWAP, right, my ultimate, I don't know how many percent would that be? Like 55K, that would be amazing in my opinion. Like a retracement all the way back towards 2020 value area high. That will be really nice. But, you know, I'm not sure if we're getting it. Until we revisit that area, I'll have my eyes on 64K, which is that quarterly developing value area high. I think best case scenario, right, if you clean up this chart real quick and look at the top right chart. Best case scenario, in my opinion, that will provide the best trades for us to be taken is form a range here. Don't test the quarter developing value high yet, but range for 2 weeks here. Then we will have a new quarterly value high. So let's mark that up. Let's say that this right there is going to be a new quarterly value to work with. Fucking hell. Come on. Auto snap my nuts here. Quarterly value area high, quarterly VWAP, quarterly value area low. This gives us two really good trades. The first one is if we don't revisit it, right? We get this for the upcoming 2 weeks. We form a range low there. The trade that I'm interested in is sweep that low into previous quarterly value area high as our key high time frame support because it lines up with a 2-month composite from the previous all-time high distribution. Reclaim that range and I'm in. Game on towards these highs. Conversely, if we fail to hold the quarterly value area high, the previous quarterly value high as support, and now we're trading back within, I think this is the first genuine shift in condition on the higher time frame, where we go from a quarterly imbalance up towards a rotational environment. Now, if we are accepting back within that value area, I will look to short this, and I'm going to be targeting 55K and potentially previous quarterly VWAP at 52. So I'm just going to be treating this as a range. Now, if you were to ask me, when is the best time to get back into spot Bitcoin? Let's see if I can open that up. Let me just go back towards Bitcoin high. Give me a sec, guys. Open in browser. Let's get this within the screen. Discord app. All right. So the 55 mark, weekly RSI, right? This is from the prep on the higher time frames. I would be interested in getting back into spot or adding back once we start trading near the 55 level. Once we do it, right? Look at this, the interaction with the 55. We break away, we get a retracement, 55 holds on the weekly. Another move upwards. 55 holds as a retracement, right? Right there. Another move upwards. 55 holds as a retracement, right? Right here. And then we move upwards. So I think, that will be a level of interest. If we're truly getting like numerous weeks of downtrend, which is perfectly fine during an uptrend. But everybody is so biased. I saw so many tweets about, oh, my ETF flows 2 billion. Well, think of it like this. We had 2 billion and priced it fuck all. Is that bullish to you? No, right? So revisit the 55. This is an excellent area to look for long exposure. Until then, I'm sticking to futures and I'm trading quarterly values and weekly values, right? Make sense? Now, blah, 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 blah. Swing back towards all-time high. Conversely, all right, great. Conversely, acceptance below the upcoming previous quarterly value high, right? The upcoming previous quarterly value high makes way for a short back towards 55K. Now, that brings me towards the daily narrative. What is our daily narrative? Our daily narrative is that I basically expect, yeah, exactly, Grant. At least that's my game plan. Like, I'm going to be keeping it really simple. I'm going to be keeping it on, just short-term trades like we've always done, based on quarterly values, weekly values, and monthly values. However, once we start to trade towards the 55 RSI on the weekly for Bitcoin, it is often going to be a quality buying opportunity. Now, in an event where we do lose it as support, that's often going to be the start of a bear market, which is when you want to be de-risking. So just keep an eye on the 55 RSI, all right? It sounds extremely boomer because it is, and I'm a boomer as well, so it makes perfect sense, right? Now, daily narrative. I expect Bitcoin to range within prior week value, right? So we've discussed in the beginning of the stream. Do I think this is the actual low? Not really. I would love to see a larger range here, followed by a sweep below that range low into the 2-month composite value area high, confluent with quarterly developing value area high. For longs back towards, I'm just going to be calling it all-time high, but we'll have to see how far we can run this up, all right? Back towards all-time high. Is everything clear so far to everybody that's with us today? Like, is this making sense? How we're breaking down the markets. We're using market profile to get a narrative, fine-tuning it on the longer-term VWAPs. That will allow us to know where are we trading relative to VWAP. Then we're making a summary. This is my daily narrative. What am I trading today? I personally won't be trading because it's my birthday and I'm going to be eating a fuck ton of cake in a bit. But if you are trading, I think the trades that you want to be taken are going to be based around two contextual levels. The first one is going to be the 2-month composite value area high. We have a low, we have a high, we've got a low, right? Now, I'm not saying that this is the actual range that we're going to be forming, but it makes a decent case for the range to be for at least the day, right? For longs, as we discussed, our bullish line in the sand long term is going to be the 2-month composite value area high. Why? Because it lines up with the quarterly development value area high. Purely based on the laws of market dynamics, I'd say if we fail to hold this as support, we're going to see a reversion or a rotation back towards 52. The quarterly is exactly the same as this monthly, only a higher time frame, right? Do we all see how once we start to trade and accept deeper with a monthly value, we retest that value area high, and then we auction towards the opposite extreme? First area of interest is going to be VWAP, right? That is why I think it is so important to look for longs around 63, or it's not important to look for longs, but it is important to hold for at least to maintain momentum towards the upside, right? So the trade that I think you should be focusing on is let this play out, right? The longer this range tends to form, the better the trade will be. Meaning, let's say that we find support there. Let's say that we do this, right? And then on the burger session, we trade towards the lows and we sweep into our bullish line in the sand, and then we reclaim this low. Once we do that, I think, and ideally it's on a 30-minute candle close with a point of control at the lows. Once we do that, A, we're coming off a key contextual level. Previous week value area low, 2-month composite value area high. B, we are allowing the market to show its hand by accepting back within the range, telling us that buyers are willing to lift the offer. C, the next likely destination purely based on a drawn liquidity is going to be this high there. And it lines up with the previous all-time high and a previous week value area high. So this is going to be a quality trade in my opinion, from this low towards that high. Conversely, right, in an event where we start trading below that low and we do not see buyers stepping in, you don't do anything at all. We'll likely continue to trade lower. And at that point, you need to remain patient. Don't be the guy that steps in front of every trap here, because there is no contextual level there to be taken, right? This is the only setup that I'm willing to take. Sweep into the low, reclaim range low for longs, targeting this high, potentially mean reversion. But we'll have to see how we react to the previous all-time high, okay? That's the long setup. Short setup. Let's get rid of this real quick. Clean up the charts. Let's get rid of that. Short setup, right? We're trading below all-time high. We're trading below previous week value high. These are two important contextual levels. Assuming that this is a high, we've got a gap there as well, so we do have a reason to rebalance that inefficiency. I'd say if the market does this, spike high, into all-time high, into previous week value high, I need to see what? A close back below previous week value high. Because that tells me that we try to accept back above a contextual level. We aren't strong enough, we're weak, we're accepting back within the range. What do? I take a short and I tend to target previous low into 2-month composite value high. The only two trades that I'm interested in today. Is that clear? All right. Well, if that's clear for everybody, we've covered the bullish line in the sand, for example. The bullish line in the sand speaks for itself, right? 64.7. Bearish line in the sand, all-time high. Yeah, what's up, Grant? What if it accepts above? If it accepts above, like let's say that we do this, right? Then we'll need to wait for a short-term range. Trade back within that level and then a continuation play. Or remember what we discussed always about the 30-minute. Let's say that we form a 30-minute high volume candle there. I almost tend to draw a dick there, but let's not do it. Right? That's a weird candle, but you know, it is what it is. Let's say that this is a 30-minute high volume candle and we've got all right, let's do it. Let's say that this is a 30-minute high volume candle, yeah? We've got a nice thick point of control here in the middle. You want to look for a retest there to get along for a rotation higher. Make sense? Listen, you only have to tell me once. Do it, and I'll do it. I'm that guy. All right. So with that proper visualization, right, I'm going to leave you guys with it for today. Thank you all for attending the stream. You know, leave me a comment, a like, and that's it. Take care, guys. Peace.